All right, hello everybody. We did a video about MLA formatting of your paper last week. I just want to do a little review and then we're going to look at Works Cited page just in case you have any sources that you need to do a Works Cited page. This was not required, so if you don't have one, that is just fine. But this is good information for you to listen to. It's not going to be very long, so I'd encourage you to listen anyway. All right, so just a little review of how your page should be set up. You should have your last name at the top in the header with a page number. And just so you know, that is easy to do, and I showed you how to do it before, but I think I showed you in a really awkward way. So I'm just going to click in here, and once you have your last name in here already and you want to number the pages, you just go to page number and you just page number, and that's it. And then it will say, do you want it aligned to the right? And you say yes, and that's it. That's all you have to do. Okay, so page number is easier than I think I showed you the last time. So then you have your first name and your last name here, and remember your last name is up here, only your last name, and then your name, first and last name, and then my name because I'm your professor, right? And then preparation for college writing because that's just what this class is, and then the date is written in this weird way where you do the day of the month, then the year, and there's no commas. And then there's just one return from here. You return once, you do a center, and you do a very clever title, right? And then you are going to tab over, just hit tab once, and that will indent your first paragraph. And every paragraph needs to be indented. And then when you go to your next paragraph, you do not have an extra space. From the title to your first paragraph, there's not an extra space. And from the other paragraph to the next paragraph, there's not an extra space. So you're not returning twice. I'm so sorry that my children are so loud. I thought doing this at 1 o'clock in the morning would work, but apparently they're very loud all times. So sorry about that. Anyway, so that's how you make sure that your paper is correct. But now what we have to do is we need to have a page break for your Works Cited page. So if I'm done with my paper after these two very short paragraphs, which of course you will have longer paragraphs and it will be a longer paper than this, but you need a page break. So the first thing you do is you return, and you have this new line, and then you go to insert and you go to page break, just like that, and then there you are in your page. Okay, does that make sense? So it will not let you type here anymore, and it will start on this page. So the first thing you do for your Works Cited page is we're going to navigate back to the home navigation bar, and you're going to center your title for your Works Cited. And every single Works Cited page has the same title, and it's super hard to remember. It's called Works Cited every time. So you just type in Works Cited and you're good. And then you're going to return once, and then you're going to put it back into alignment to the left. And now we are ready to put in our very first citation. And the big trick for citations is that the citations have to have a hanging indentation. And that just means that the first line of your citation is not indented, but any lines after the first one are indented, okay? And this is how you make sure that happens so you don't have to keep returning and screwing around with it. So up here at the very top, you can see that there's these little triangles, and I'm going to make this bigger so you can see that. Okay, so now you can see these little triangles, and there's like a little square and then a triangle. And what we're going to do is we're going to move that left margin and that, so we're going to look at the triangle and that little square, and we're going to move them all the way to a 1/2 inch right there. Okay, that's halfway between the 1 and the 0 mark. That is a 1/2 inch, and that's where we want it. Okay, so now I will move this back to where it was. Okay, there we go. All right, so now we have this moved, and what that will do is that will help you, because you won't have to worry about the indentation anymore, because it will do it for you. So if you will watch me, I will just type, I am typing a really long sentence to show you that the hanging indentation will automatically happen when you type off the first line. Okay, so you can see that this happened automatically, and so you don't have to worry about it. And if I kept typing, it would keep it in this indentation, right? It would just keep it there. But if I wanted to go to an actual citation, then I just have to return, just like that, okay? And this is where I need to show you the Purdue Owl, because this is how you're going to know how to do your citations for your different sources. And so you go to the Purdue Owl, and this is just the MLA formatting and style guide. So you can just Google Purdue Owl, make sure to have the owl in there, MLA formatting and style guide, and this page will come up. And over here, the navigation bar is over here, so you can find all kinds of different things. And what you're going to do is you're going to try and find a source in the style guide that matches what your source is. So for example, they give you this great list, and this is a list of the order everything should go in and how it's punctuated. And then they give you a lot of examples. So if you are just doing a book, this is how you would do it. Here is the last name, comma, first name, middle initial, period. That's the author, right? So it's always last name, comma, first name. If you don't know the middle initial, that's okay. You can leave that, but then it's always a period. And just remember that MLA citation, just like any kind of citation, is just super nitpicky. You just have to follow every single little tiny detail. So everybody needs to be super detailed about this. So you have to look, is it a period or is it a comma? It's a period, right? And then you do the title of the book. Here's the title of the book right here. Notice titles of the book are in italics, so you're going to want to do that, and then another period, right? And then this is the publisher, and this is the publication date, and that's all the information they have for this. And so it was author, title, there was no container because it was a book, there were no other contributors, there was no version, there was no number, there was a publisher, and there was a publication date, there was no location. So that's what they gave you right there. All right, so that is what you have to do, and there's all kinds of works cited stuff over here. So if you wanted to figure out just books, they're here, and if you wanted to do periodicals, they're here. Electronic sources are here. Other common sources like podcasts and websites and all kinds of paintings, TV shows, anything that you want to cite, they're here. You just have to kind of slog through them. All right. So then that's what you do, is you slog through and you go, oh, here's the one that looks like mine. this is an article that's on a website. Here's the web page, and this has a star by it. So I'm going to just, the MLA 8th edition handbook recommends using URLs when citing online sources. For more information, see optional elements section below. Okay, so that's all I really need to know. So if this is the one that I'm going to copy, then this is the one I will look at, right? And I will be like, oh, it's author, period, quotation marks, and there's my article. Here's my website, and here's the web address. Great. Or if I was going to do this one, where I have an author, I have like an article that appears in this book, and this looks like it's a textbook, Tulsa Studies in Women's Literature, so it has many volumes. Or maybe it's a periodical, has volumes and numbers. So then I would do this one. I would model it after this one. Okay, here's Beyonce. They're gonna cite her song "Pray You Catch Me," and that's on her Lemonade album. Here's where it was published, right? And here is the site that it's a visual album. Okay, so you can find pretty much anything in here. It just takes a little bit of time to find exactly what you want to do. And since we've already formatted it, so if I was doing, I'll just cite John Warner's book here because I have it right next to me. So I would do Warner, John, right? Period. The writer's practice, period. And then I'd have to do the publisher, which is Penguin Books. Comma. And it was published in 2019. Period. Done. So there, and then I'm not done because all books have to be italicized. There it is. And that's doing the whole book. Now, if I wanted to, I could do like one of the articles in here, one of the chapters or something. So maybe I'm going to cite "Who are you as a writer?" Okay, so maybe that's my next thing. Who are you as a writer? So I would still do Warner, John. And usually I would have to do a little fancy thing here, but I'm just going to show you the difference here. Period. And the article that I'm doing is, or the chapter, who are you as a writer? Period, right? Quotation marks. And then the writer's practice. Oops. Jeez.
No, go.
It's my son again. And then that's again Penguin Books, 2019. Right? Okay. So then this has to be italicized here. And there you have it. And I need to check to make sure, is that supposed to be a period or not? I can't remember. So I'm going to come back here. I'm going to look here. Yes, it is. Perfect. And I also want to show you that it's tucked inside those quotation marks. All right, so I hope this helped. If you have questions, you can go to the Owl, and there's a whole bunch of stuff here There's even a works cited